Hey everybody, it is, I believe it's Thursday. It is Thursday, December 25th, 2025. This is your kind of weekly update and your Christmas special. So let's see what's going on. Still in McAlpin. Okay, it's a kind of a strange holiday for me. The reason it's strange for me is that it is the first holiday in 15 years where I've either not been running around in overdrive at 4 a.m. for Kerry, or working. I feel a little odd about that. Like, what am I supposed to do? Give me something to do. And, but it's about 70 degrees here. It's sunny. So for Christmas, it's at least reasonable weather. Good operating weather. Okay, so let's see. Other than that, like I said, I'm still in McAlpin. Still trying to find some type of work. There's a good possibility that I will have work in March. I have to go back to New Mexico, though. And if that company that I worked for in New Mexico calls me, I would flip from one job to the next job, and I'd be in New Mexico for 6 whole months. Not a big fan of New Mexico, but they'll pay me and I can park reasonably free. Unless I can find a good high part-time or full-time job here that would cover all the expenses, and then I would say to them, nah, I'm good, I'll stay here. For now. Too many people here, by the way. Just too many people. I would feel this way in Flamingo during the fall and winter. I was like, too many people, too many people, too many people, too many people next to me, too many people in the building over there, too many people in my face, too many people. And then in the summertime, I'd get a breath and I would go, okay, so the nearest guy is like 5 or 6 spots down, and that's fine. And we're running a skeleton crew over here, and that's good. And I would at least be able to breathe a little bit, right? So we'll start with our daily Zen poem. What I call perfection of seeing is not seeing others, but oneself. Chuang-Tzu, 3rd century BC. Oh, it doesn't get much better than that, right? So, let's see. We'll go for our daily rune pull, and then we'll talk about the plans for the rest of the day. I'm trying to get away for you. That's Kano. We've definitely pulled that one before. So let's see what we got. Okay. In this particular case, Kano is opening fire or torch. It's renewed clarity and dispelling the darkness. The morning of activities. However, we pulled it inverted, which is that you expect a darkening of the light in some situation or partnership. A friendship, maybe dying, a partnership, a marriage, some aspect of you that is no longer appropriate for the person you are now. You have to receive the room that put on your notice. The failure to face up to that death consciously would constitute a loss of opportunity. You have to call to give up gladly the old and prepare to live with the time empty, but develop inner stability. We wait for the new to become illuminated in the proper time. Well, I did text Carrie at 6 a.m. and say to her, I love you, I need you, I want you. And it feels strange to not be running around and, making the materials that she had to bring to her family for their Christmas thing, or making cinnamon rolls so the kids could open up their presents, and having some coffee and getting some peace before all that mess started. Then cleaning up all the mess that comes for that, and then listening to them all scream at each other while they were trying to get ready to get in the car to drive an hour to 2 hours so I could drive an hour or 2 hours in the dark alone to go home to the dogs. You know, other than that, for 3 years, it was go to work. I worked every holiday, and I had no problem with it. Some holidays paid me double time, and that's fine. And some holidays paid me straight time, and it's still 8 to 10 hours a day. We'll do it. So, other than that, there's not a lot going on. We do have a pot roast over there in the slow cooker to be ready in about 3 to 4 hours. And we're excited about that because he might eat a little potato, but he'll definitely eat the pot roast. And it's going to be good. It's going to be delicious. I may make some brown gravy, throw on top of that. You know, but what a good way to do that. The other thing I thought about this morning when I got up at 4 was that it is our second year without Queso. Because he died on December 7th of 2023. And boy, I miss that little boy a lot. So, he would have eaten the pot roast if I made it mush, and probably would have eaten it and then burped, farted, and went to sleep. Good boy. I did put my Periscope up a little bit, and when that went up, I went, oh my. People from one troublesome and violent ideology shot at other people from a troublesome and violent ideology in a country that's not ours. Not that they wouldn't do it here, but they will. And I went, what did you expect? What did you expect? You know, Scorpion and the Frog. You knew I was a scorpion. I sting. That's what I do. What did you expect? You know, a lot of defeated countries. Australia, Germany, Norway, Sweden. Even I'm a smart enough guy to know that when you're pumping sewage in and you realize it's overflowing, shut the valve off. You know, otherwise you're going to be standing there hip deep in your lawn in sewage going, why does it stink? Because you're an idiot is why it stinks. So obviously somebody wanted you to pump the sewage in. That's the guy to find. That's the guy to string up. Okay? Another thing I noticed was a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse. Minneapolis, California, New York to some extent. And I looked at the people performing this waste, fraud, and abuse and went, what did you expect? Look at what you deposited on the ground and then tell me why it doesn't smell like a pile of poo. Look what you did. It doesn't make any sense. You're blaming everybody else except for this, and then the people that are benefiting are blaming everybody else except for the pile of poo. Typical, because they're getting paid, right? Third thing I did take a notice to was there's a lot of argument about basic things like affordability and everything. And yeah, the grocery store can be a little tough. It's costing me more every week. And I wish, you know, if I had a job, it'd be a little easier, but not much. So many people are struggling right now. And I say, hey, what happens when you drain resources? Whether it be a body of water, whether it be cut down a field, whatever it happens to be. If you drain resources, you make it harder for everything else that's there. And unfortunately, things like locusts or other invasive species that come in will decimate an entire crop. And then they'll move on because there's nothing else there for them. So the thought I had the other day was, did you ever notice that all of the invasive species move into a place where everything's already established instead of making it themselves where they were in the first place? And then I remembered the class I took on urban planning, and I remembered the one I took on philosophy. They call it modern philosophy. And then I remembered the object is to overwhelm the system and crack it and make it irretrievable. And then the people that want a new system can come in and go, I have a solution, and install it. And it's miserable for everyone. That's Hegel, philosopher. Problem, reaction, solution. I also reminded modern philosophy class, right? The Frankfurt School, Saul Alinsky, the base roots of communism, Karl Marx, all of that. They all travel along that same vein of, we can't make the change that we want, so we're going to destroy everything because it's easier to rule over garbage than it is to build a skyscraper. Not my plan, but I remember that from modern philosophy class, right? So, like I said, it's not the easiest day in the world. It's going to be the rest of my day is going to be a good day. And we're going to enjoy pot roast in peace and quiet. Too many people here. Too many people. Still peace and quiet. I'm not driving 2 hours. Staying for 3 hours. Putting my hand on her thigh while she eats mashed potatoes, and then getting back in the car and going another 2 hours in the cold and the dark. It was worth it for that 3 hours of being with her and the mashed potatoes. Really good. Again, I've said it before on this channel. Her family is wonderful. They're nice people. Okay. The vast majority of them are definitely like-minded, share values, and have something to offer. It's just going to be a little difficult for the rest of my day to go, well, what am I supposed to do with the rest of my day? So I better find something to do because I don't sit still real good. But we're going to remind you the two most important things. Let's end it right. If you don't take care of you, nobody else will. Thank you, Mom. Are they like-minded? Do they share your values? Do they have something to offer? And can they use discernment as new data arrives? Or no? No Christmas dinner for you. It's too late. If you go out tomorrow, okay, please, ladies, go out as a group. Keep your trips very short. Mind your children. Keep your head out of your phone. And, gentlemen, same advice. If you have to go out tomorrow, please, go to a group if you can. Essentials, not luxuries. Get back and take care of the things that are important. Both of you, please remember. Please take some form of personal protection. And whatever that means to you is what that means to you. Okay? There are people out there, and most of them right now, they're either not thinking like you, or they're not supposed to be here, and they hate you, and they want what you have. Do not let the will to act be the highest hurdle. One of the features of all of this stuff is when good people stand up and protect themselves, they get punished. And when bad people don't, they get released. They get a puppy, a warm cookie, and an apology. But you, for doing the right thing, oh, forget it. You're in the cell for weeks. Especially if you have skin looks like mine, and you're my gender, and you're my age. We know it. Eventually, somebody going to make this stop. Might be me. Might be you. Might be all of us. Who knows? But on that note, we're not going to have it as a downer. Please, I hope you enjoy your I hope you are enjoying or will have enjoyed your holiday. And please, please, if you have someone to care about, take care of them to the best of your ability. Remember, as you serve, as you care, as you love, remember, the attack always comes from the inside, and there are no exceptions. So keep that in mind as you're making a spinach dip at 4 a.m. Right. Right. All right. We're not going to have a Bodhi sighting. He's a little too jumpy today. Too many things going on outside. If you celebrate, have a Merry Christmas.